Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is September 12th, 2025, and we are in the New Testament book of Luke. We're going to read chapter 8, verse 22 to 56, all the way to the end of it. All right, so we just had some parables, and just like in Mark, at the end of this block of teaching, Jesus gets into a boat with his disciples. They're going to sail to the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee, or Lake Gennesaret as it was also called, or Lake Tiberias as it was also called. And they're going to a region called the Decapolis, which is where more Gentile, as opposed to the Jewish region that they were in around Capernaum. And on the way, the storm comes, and it's a bad storm. The disciples are afraid for their lives. Jesus is asleep. And to the credit of the disciples, who still aren't quite sure who Jesus is or what he's about, they're still working on their own perceptions of what the Messiah is, but they understand this storm, that Jesus can save them, and that's who they go to. And Jesus speaks, and the storm abates immediately. And they marvel even more at Jesus, saying, "Who he can command demons and sickness and illness and unclean spirits, and now he can command nature. What's up? This guy is more than I. They're starting to realize their perception is wrong, but they're still not quite to that point of accepting it yet. But they're getting there. All right, so they get to the Decapolis, and they encounter a demon-possessed man. Legion. Legion would technically means 1,000, so he didn't necessarily have 1,000 demons in him, but he had a lot, more than one. An army of demons, let's put it that way. Now, this is an atypical casting out of demons. We don't want to say, hey, this is how demon casting should work, because Jesus is teaching with this demon casting out, because he speaks to the demon, tells it to go. And this demon doesn't quite go right away. It puts up a little resistance, says, well, hey, why are you picking on me, Jesus? I'm over here in the Gentile region where I'm supposed to be tormenting Gentiles. Leave me alone. And Jesus questions him and says, well, what's your name? And he doesn't necessarily give him a name. He just says, Legion. We're an army of demons. We're not one. We're an army. Don't cast us into the abyss. So they acknowledge that Jesus has the power to cast them into the abyss. Cast us into these pigs instead, which Jesus does, and the pigs immediately rush into the sea and drown. So that's the goal of demons, is to destroy whatever they're in, to destroy life, and that's what they do. The people of the region see that this has happened and that this demon has been cast out, and they come to Jesus and they repeat what the demon said. Hey, oh no, leave us alone, Jesus, get out of here. We don't cast us into the abyss. Now the man that he healed the demons out of, he's grateful, and he understands what's happened, and he wants to follow Jesus, and Jesus tells him, no, not going to let you follow me. And unlike all the rest of the people that we've seen in the Jewish regions where he told them, shh, don't, keep it on the down low, he tells that guy, go out and spread the word. And this is the Decapolis. I don't care who knows about me out here. Go for it. And we know that he does, because next time Jesus comes to the Decapolis, he's known, and people flock to him. And he gets a completely different reception than when he got here, where the people force him to leave. He leaves this area. He comes back to the Jewish areas of the northern shores of the Sea of Galilee, and he meets Jairus, whose daughter is dead, is dying at the time, and he asks Jesus to come and heal her. And as Jesus says, okay, I'll go, then he gets the woman with the flow of blood, and we see that healing take place. He's told that Jairus' daughter is dead, and he says, no, don't worry about it. I'm still going to go there. Things are going to be okay. Just have faith in me. And when he gets there, we see the faith in Jesus, because he heals the girl, restores her to life. And that's where this section ends. So let's go ahead. We're going to read Luke chapter 8, verse 22 to 56. Now it happened on a certain day that he got into a boat with his disciples, and he said to them, let us cross over to the other side of the lake. And they launched out. But as he sailed, he fell asleep, and a windstorm came down on the lake, and they were filling with water and were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we are perishing. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was calm. But he said to them, where is your faith? And they were afraid, and they marveled, saying to one another, "Who can this be? For he commands even the winds and water, and they obey him." Then they sailed to the country of the Gadarenes, which is opposite Galilee. And when he stepped out on the land, there met him a certain man from the city, who had demons for a long time. And he wore no clothes, nor did he live in a house, but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out, fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me. For he commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for it had often seized him, and he was kept under guard, bound with chains and shackles, and he broke the bonds, and was driven by the demon into the wilderness. Jesus asked him, saying, What is your name? And he said, Legion, because many demons had entered him, and they begged him that he would not command them to go out into the abyss. Now a herd of many swine was feeding there on the mountain, so they begged him that he would permit them to enter them, and he permitted them. Then the demons went out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd ran violently down the steep place into the lake and drowned. When those who fed them saw what had happened, they fled and told it in the city and in the country. Then they went out to see what had happened and came to Jesus and found the man from whom the demons had departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. They also, who had seen it, told them by what means he who had been demon-possessed was healed. Then the whole multitude of the surrounding region of the Gadarenes asked him to depart from them, for they were seized with great fear. And he got into the boat and returned. Now the man from whom the demons had departed begged him that he might be with him, but Jesus sent him away, saying, Return to your own house and tell what great things God has done for you. And he went his way and proclaimed throughout the whole city what great things Jesus had done for him. So it was when Jesus returned that the multitude welcomed him, for they were all waiting for him. And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was a ruler of the synagogue. And he fell down at Jesus' feet and begged him to come to his house, for he had an only daughter, about 12 years of age, and she was dying. But as he went, the multitudes thronged him. Now a woman having a flow of blood for 12 years, who had spent all her livelihood on physicians, and could not be healed by any, came from behind and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her flow of blood stopped. And Jesus said, Who touched me? When all denied it, Peter and those with him said, Master, the multitude throng and press you, and you say, Who touched me? But Jesus said, Somebody touched me, for I perceive power going out from me. Now when the woman saw that she was not hidden, she came trembling, and falling down before him, she declared to him in the presence of all the people the reason she had touched him. And now she was healed immediately. And he said to her, Daughter, be of good cheer, your faith has made you well, go in peace. While he was still speaking, someone came from the ruler of the synagogue's house, saying to him, Your daughter is dead. Do not trouble the teacher. But when Jesus heard it, he answered him, saying, Do not be afraid, only believe, and she will be made well. When he came into the house, he permitted no one to go in except Peter, James, and John, and the father and mother of the girl. Now all wept and mourned for her, but he said, Do not weep. She is not dead, but sleeping. And they ridiculed him, saying that she was dead. But he put them all outside, took her by the hand, and called, saying, Little girl, arise. Then her spirit returned, and she arose immediately, and he commanded that she be given something to eat. And her parents were astonished, but he charged them to tell no one what had happened. May God bless the reading of his word, and may God bless you. Bye.